Hey guys, Coach Ash here, and today I am walking in the park and I'm gonna talk about being selfish and how you have to be selfish to really be selfless. So, if you've ever been on an airplane, somebody's always telling you, like the flight attendant is always telling you, put your mask on before you help other people put on their mask. Hold on one second, there's something in my shoe. Alright. Yeah, so, they're always saying, put your mask on before you put other people's mask on. And that's because if you knock out, you're pretty much useless to the people around you. If the plane is crashing, right? So I am starting to apply that to my own life. And I used to emphasize it a lot when I was sitting down with potential new clients that didn't really know the value of like a personal training program because I'm a personal trainer for work. And, a lot of people don't quite understand that concept of why it's so important to be selfish. And I'm not saying being selfish in the sense that, you never do anything to help somebody else. But I mean selfless in the sense that you have boundaries to meet your needs first so that you can be present and be attentive to the needs of others. Hopefully this is not bouncing around too much. I'm not used to walking and talking. Just do that. Okay. Yeah, so hopefully you guys can hear me clearly too because it's a little windy out. But yeah, so being selfless, that means pouring into your physical health needs. That means making sure your finances are in order. That means making sure you're eating healthy and you're staying hydrated and you're doing things to relieve your stress, because if you're always tensed up, you feel like your needs aren't being met, you're not going to show up in the best possible way for others. I've experienced this myself where, I'll say no or I'll say yes to a lot of things that just drain my energy, and I just start to feel that resentment of like, oh, why did I say yes to this? Oh, I don't want to do this anymore, but I have to. Or, man, I haven't had a day off in like 2 weeks. Like, why did I say yes to that? And it just comes back to bite you really hard. Like, one thing that your body is going to do is when you need rest, your body's going to force you to rest whether you want to or not. So it's better to plan it and incorporate it into your day-to-day, week-to-week routine rather than putting it off because you're trying to meet the needs of others and you're not pouring into yourself. And yeah, like that's just a big thing because me, my background, if you're a Caribbean daughter, you understand this, but the need to people please is just so prevalent, and it's because you're trying to honor your parents, you're trying to show up for your siblings, especially if you're the older sibling. You're trying to help this person, help that person, because like, in Caribbean culture, you're supposed to help as many people as you can. You're supposed to help your, family members, your cousins, your friends. But it comes at the cost of sacrificing yourself and not paying attention to your needs. And I saw it with my parents. I saw it with my grandparent. Like, it's just not a healthy cycle because you end up running your body down to the ground and you're wondering why you feel overwhelmed or stressed or just under a lot of pressure. And it's because you haven't met your needs. You haven't given your body a break. You haven't given your mind a break. And you're lending money to people when you don't have the money to give. That just puts you in a spot where you become resentful even when you are trying to be selfless. So hopefully that made sense. I don't know if it did. But you have to be selfless. And I think I'm going to make this into a video series starting with the first step. I think the ways that you need to be selfish is with your physical health, your mental health, your um, spiritual health, your personal goals, and your learning. And then um, with your personal time to relax and refresh yourself, like your self-care in a sense. And let me know if you guys want to see, which part do you guys want to see first, whether it's the mental or the physical. And I'll upload videos on that. But hopefully this made sense to you guys. If you're a chronic people pleaser and you're trying to meet the needs of everybody else around you without meeting yours first, slow down and think, all right, what are the ways I can pour into myself and make sure that I'm all right? And, metaphorically putting my mask on before I can put the mask of others on. And once you figure out the answer to that question, make sure you're consistent in making that a routine so that you're able to feel refreshed and ready to just, pour into others because you've poured your own cup. Thank you guys for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Peace.